Cathaoirleach and Minister, first of all, I would like to welcome you back here to the Chamber this afternoon. And as you outlined yourself, Cathaoirleach, we here in Fianna Fáil are delighted to support this very, very important piece of legislation, which is referred to as Coco's Law, and indeed, as you outlined, in memory of Nicole Fox Fenlon. And we particularly think on that family at this particular time, and indeed this particular time of year as well, and our thoughts are with them. The bill provides for the creation of 2 new offences related to the publication and distribution of intimate images without consent. The first offence relates to the distribution of intimate images without consent, or the threat to distribute these images with the intent to cause harm. The second relates to the distribution or sharing of images without consent. It also provides for a number of other measures to strengthen the State's response to harassment, including the maximum sentence for harassment to 10 years, or civil restraint orders, and persistent communication about an individual rather than directly to an individual's face. Recently, we had an outcry of a case that was widely publicised, but unfortunately it's not an isolated incident, and there has been numerous reports of individuals, the vast majority of which, it has to be said, are women, who have been targeted with such abuse. And I listened yesterday evening on the way heading home to Sandra Hoey, and it's just here present today, who outlined on a radio station her experience, and I can only sympathise with you, Senator, but I admire you for your bravery in that regard. The level of abuse that you outlined is simply not good enough and shouldn't be tolerated by anybody. And for that reason, I would like to commend Deputy Brendan Howlin and Havana and the Labour Party for their great work in this regard. And it's a show of good politics that we all can come together when legislation is good, and we all can support that widely. And I'm delighted too that further action will be taken in the month ahead to address harmful behaviour online through online survey and media regulation bill. I welcome that, and I look forward to that bill coming before both houses. And I suppose on a more general kind of a note, I too myself are depressed sometimes that of the level of abuse generally on social media. I know I would use some social media platforms mainly to pass on information to the general public, not so much to give my opinion on any particular item. And I'm amazed at the level of abuse that comes back in my direction. I suppose that's part of the game that we're in to a certain extent, but it's sad nevertheless. And I often think that if I had the winning numbers for next week's lotto and posted them online, I have no doubt that certain individuals come back with their own ranges of abuse and personal attack at me. But anyway, we all have to accept that, or maybe we shouldn't have to accept it. I think it's very sad that it's come to that, but unfortunately that's the world we live in today. But for the point of this legislation, I very much welcome it, and I'm delighted that we in Fianna Fáil will be 100% behind this bill. Go raibh maith.